Hello and welcome to another episode of Late Night Football. Well, Manchester United can't stop being in the news now. That's almost how their performance against Brentford has resulted in the fact that they are now in for everybody, and there is somebody in to buy Manchester United. It's almost Manchester United itself is now on the transfer market, and well, we have a possible suitor. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, the British billionaire and chief executive of Ineos, has expressed an interest in buying Manchester United. United have been owned by the Glazer family since 2005. It was a 600 million debt deal. Glazers, it's well documented how they've run the club, the difficulties that Manchester United has had with them, with player signings and so on and so forth. But it's come in more scrutiny considering, Manchester United fans now demand more from that club, which the club that they have loved for so long. But over the period of 4 years, struggling 4 years. Last year was disastrous, the season, and then everyone was expecting some rebound and some players incomings and so on and so forth, but nothing changed. We did sign some players, but then, well, not to the level that we had expected in Manchester United as the fans. So it seems the sentiment is pretty high on pushing Glazers to sell. Of course, it's fans can have some say into this, but then a boycott, I don't think if that's possible or not. There have been talks about boycotts for the Liverpool game against Liverpool for Manchester United next week. But then it's pretty interesting to see that there have never been such advanced talks, that there has been some public statements being made that, and of course, if you've not seen the video that Roy did yesterday, like with Elon Musk kind of almost joking that he was in for Manchester United. But then he's already talked about that, but then it just kind of came out today that just an hour back that Jim Ratcliffe, the billionaire, has shown his interest. He writes, basically, he says, or the spokesperson said for Jim Ratcliffe said, if the club is for sale, Jim is definitely a potential buyer. If something like this was possible, we would be interested in talking with a view to long-term ownership. Well, I think that's a reaction. That's kind of the maximum that we have seen pressure put on Glazers to kind of think about. But then, well, what's the spin-off from Glazers then? So Manchester United has been linked to a lot of players over the last over the last days, in a way. So this is how the list is. Manchester United did put the bid in for Atletico Madrid's João Felix for 137 million. I think that was rejected. And also for Matheus Cunha, and Atletico said no to a 50 million deal to Manchester United. John Murdoch had direct contact with Atletico, and the answer is still that they are not interested. Atletico are not going to sell João Felix and Cunha to Manchester United. Then there was news on Manchester United now in for for two keepers, actually. One was for the Leeds United keeper, Ilan Melier. The French goalkeeper is considered untouchable by Leeds, but Manchester United again trying last minute. It's like 1 week to 1 or 10 days to the transfer. 13, it's just less than 2 weeks basically to the close of the transfer window. And Manchester United is all over the place right now. The other goalkeeper that they've gone for is Jan Sommer from Borussia Mönchengladbach. Sommer has a contract till 2025. But yeah, there's a lot of talk around Manchester United. Of course, also the fact that we pretty interestingly, Manchester United is in talks to also sign Real Madrid's Casemiro. There's a deal on the table, which has been directly discussed with the player, but it all depends on what the player wants going forward. Does he want to come back to Manchester United, or wants to leave Real Madrid, which is pretty interesting to see of how a player would make that decision, or how difficult would it be for Casemiro, unless, of course, he gets a double salary and so on and so forth. The deal with Rabiot has fallen off on the wages. So, yeah, Juventus have received Manchester United message on Adrian Rabiot. Deal is completely off and won't change unless something crazy happens on the player side. Manchester United have no intention to pay record salary and huge signing fees to Adrian Rabiot. So that deal is off. But then, yeah, Casemiro is something that's brewing up again. Also, Adrian Rabiot's camp has told Juventus they have no intention to reduce the salary requests. No way Manchester United deal. They're working on the Casemiro deal. Carlo Ancelotti could be the real factor there. And yeah, and that's the state of Manchester United right now. There have been also talks that Manchester United might also want to hijack the Aubameyang deal to Chelsea. It's still kind of up in the air what's going to happen. It almost seems like Manchester United is kind of speaking with everybody right now, and or all the players are being offered to Manchester United. Well, with almost double the transfer market, or double the rate, and double the actual price that they would be signed off for. But just closing on Cristiano Ronaldo, there have been a lot of talks about him not being happy and so on and so on. Latest is like Jorge Mendes is still working on finding a good deal for Cristiano Ronaldo, and if that deal comes through, it will be something that I think Manchester United will have to accept, given how dismal the performance from Manchester United and also the lack of signings has been. It's a pretty tricky spot for Erik ten Hag. He expected more signings. He's still waiting for more signings, but then it's almost like typical Manchester United last ditch efforts in trying to fill in those gaps. Also, there was a talk about loan deal for Christian Pulisic to Manchester United. These are kind of now up in the air. Like almost everybody is being everybody's being linked to Manchester United. And then also the fact that Manchester United is going back in to sign Anthony from Ajax. So this almost feels like a reaction in a way from the Glazers to the deal to the Jim Ratcliffe news. But let's see. This can only help Manchester United in some way. I really feel that the Glazers need better owners who can invest actual money into the club. You can look at how Chelsea are spending money with Todd Bowley, even with the results that they've had, like they've won, but then they drew the last game. But then there's a belief, there's a rebuild, there's a process which they expect to happen. But looking forward to what happens with Manchester United. So stay tuned. We'll keep you posted what's happening. Do give your thoughts. Actually, what do you think? Who actually will Manchester United sign any player by any new player by end of the transfer window, or are they basically just going to make a lot of noise and eventually not sign anybody? Even Frankie De Jong, who they've kind of now almost waited for 3 months on a deal. Do share your thoughts and give us a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.